We have spent the last 7 videos talking about the editing of the Sunset Way run videos for Singapore frontrunners. Today, in our 8th and final part, we'll talk about the overall video. The video has been published, it's live on Instagram Reels. Let's take a look at the final product. Let me pull out the video under Video 360. Sunset Way Run, Premiere. Alright, here's the video, Reel 2. That's a video, 35 seconds long. Now, this video was a bit tricky because I tried to match the music with the beats of the song. Every time you see a black bar, so this thing will match with the beat, bang and bang and then bang and all that. Okay, the funny thing is that I spent a lot of time matching out the beats. Everything plays perfectly. Right now I'm using the QuickTime player to play back my final MP4 file. Everything is perfectly in sync. But when I uploaded the video to YouTube and to Instagram, the beats are off. It looks as though the video is a bit too quick. It comes out faster than the audio. So that's kind of a waste. Why is this happening? I suspect that I'm having some audio lag on my setup here. My setup is pretty complicated. Yes, I have a Mac, but I'm connecting my Mac to a 4K Dell monitor, and the Dell monitor has a USB port, USB-C. I'm using that USB-C port to connect to my Fine audio mixer. And the audio mixer goes to my Analogue headphones. Somehow I suspect that all that that whole connection from USB to audio mixer to Analogue headphones is causing a lag in the audio. What I'm hearing right now, as I'm editing a video, appears slightly behind what the video is appearing, the showing. That's why everything looks fine when I play back the final version of this video that you're looking at. The beats are hitting precisely, but when I upload it to YouTube and to Instagram, the beats are off. The video appears quicker than the audio. Yeah, kind of sad, but lesson learned. So next time I have to learn to compensate for the timing. Now, I spoke a lot about the timing of the video. As we go through the editing timeline, you will see that the kind of pains I made to make sure that everything is matching. And why are we matching the video with the audio beats? That's because it looks very jarring if the video comes out in a funny point that doesn't match with the audio. That's why I'm trying very hard to match up the beat. I'm even doing strange tricks like this. You see these two things here. These are these two blips are white frames. Let me enable them. The reason for doing this is that I'm trying to figure out what is the duration, the precise duration between a bar of the song. If you play back the music, you see the white flashes. So with the white flashes, I can measure the length of one musical bar in the song, and I can get the duration. The first flash is at 108. Then the second flash, synchronized to the music, is at 215. Right. So I figured out that the precise duration between these two frames is 1 second, 12 frames. Remember that there are 30 seconds in a frame. And that's the length of 1 bar of music. 1 bar of music is precisely 1 second, 12 frames, right? Let me undo this. Okay, good. Given that information, I can now arrange my videos such that everything happens in 1 second, 12 frames. So if you look at the start of this video, it's at 1 second, 12 frames, right? Then that's the first transition. Then the second one comes at 2 seconds, 24. You know, you take 1 second, 12 frames, multiplied by 2, you get that. Everything is meant to match up precisely. So I went through a lot of pain to match up the video with the audio, even this part here. But somehow, didn't really work out in the end. But okay, at least I tried. Well, let me run through overall what happened in the timeline. We said that we will take some clips from the earlier videos. Yes, that's what I did here. For example, this warm-up sequence is from the earlier video. I tried to chop it out from real MP4, but there wasn't enough warm-up in there to last its duration. What I ended up doing is that I took the real, I took the warm-up sequence and just dropped it in here. The warm-up sequence has got more video. That's why I'm using it. Now, some tricks I did to this video. The black bars will appear in the warm-up sequence, and I want to match these to the beats of the music too, because otherwise it will look jarring. That's why I did a speed mapping. Notice that the initial part of the video, where the bars come out, is running at 100%. Then later on, it slowed down to 42%. But then again, if you look closely at the video, this thing was already sped up at 241. Percent? What I did was that I used the rate stretch tool, and I dragged it to fit that space. Then I realized that Premiere Pro says that it should be running at 241%, but then I realized that the beats don't match up. That is why I had to do some compensation using the time remapping. The initial part is 100%, which means it's still running at 241%, but I had to slow down the rest of the clip. When it says 42%, it's actually 42% of 241%. Yeah, so you can work it out. For this clip here, this is the running clip. Again, I had to do some matching of the timing because the black bars, I want them to appear precisely according to the beat of music. Therefore, I had to ramp down the speed also. It started at 100%, and it ended up at 77%. Then again, this whole clip has been sped up by 140%. So when we say 77%, it's 77% of 140%. This is the part where I spoke about the last live stream. We have a walking clip that is that has got a few vertical bars, right? Yeah. There's one glitch in this video though. Notice that this black bar is a bit thicker than the other black bars in this video. Yeah, I just realized it after creating it. What happened was this. If you look at the walk clip, the walk sequence here, now look at the walk sequence here. So the problem is this. Yes, there is a drop shadow with the black bar, and the standard I'm using is 80 pixels. We have 80 pixels for the thickness of the bar, but we are doing a scale of 160% because we want to zoom in on the people there, which becomes a problem. Our black bar no longer becomes 80 pixels, but it becomes 80 times 1.6 because we scale up by 160%. That's why our black bar is a bit thicker than than the standard 80 pixels. If we compare it to the other videos, I can see that it's much thinner. Right? So after I realized this, I had to do some compensation. In the later videos, we see that I did some computation and made sure that we take into account the scale and then size down the black bars accordingly. Yeah, it becomes a bit tricky, but yeah, unfortunately, that's what we need to do. All this computation, all this math is required to get everything to display correctly. Right, here's the walking clip. I mentioned that this thing was getting too long to preview. That's why I had to export it as an MP4 file and then import it back into the project. That allows me to edit this video more precisely and match the beats. Yeah, this is getting a bit annoying. The need to export the video out and before I can edit it. I'm considering other options. Apple has its own video editing tool called Final Cut Pro. It's only for Mac though, it's not available for Windows. And maybe I'm thinking if it's native to Mac, it might be optimized. Maybe I can do this without having to export the video and I can do the preview in real time. And Final Cut Pro has got nice features like they have super slow-mo. They're able to slow down the video to very, very slow rates, which might look nice. Some of our earlier videos of Sentosa, there are some super slow-mo portions that look quite awful. Maybe they'll look better with Final Cut Pro. Now, the problem with Final Cut Pro is that it doesn't support the Insta360 plugin. We're using the Insta360 plugin for panning and for and all that, panning, tilting, rolling. This Insta360 reframe plugin works only in Premiere Pro. It doesn't work for Final Cut Pro. The way to edit these videos in Final Cut Pro is that I need to export this whole 8K sequence, the 8K 360-degree video, into a flat 360-degree video MP4 file. Right. So remember the VID file we were talking about. This VID file in Insta360 format is not recognized by Final Cut Pro. I need to use the Insta360 Studio to convert the VID into a flat MP4 file, but in 360 format. Right, so it's 8K 360 format, quite similar to the one that I uploaded to YouTube earlier on. And then Final Cut Pro will be able to use its own reframe tools to do its panning, tilting, and rolling. Right. So it sounds kind of tedious, but I might have to give it a try and see how it goes. Maybe if I use Final Cut Pro, I will be able to reduce this rendering time. Having to export before importing. And maybe I can even enjoy new features like the super slow-mo. Why is this a problem, editing to MP4 file? Well, after you export to MP4 file, you can't touch it. For example, if there are problems with the timing, we'll miss them, right? It becomes very tedious to go in there, change the timing, then export it as MP4 file again. And this really affects editing when we need to match precisely with the music. But okay, moving on. We have the walking sequence, which I've covered last video. Then we have the cool down sequence. Yeah, which we also covered in the last video. After that is brunch. So for the brunch sequence, this is something that we just added in the last 12 hours. It features our friends all walking over to our eatery, then followed by scenes of shots of them eating. Everything is precisely matched up. Remember I said that the one bar of the music is 1 second, 12 frames. Therefore, all the edit points you see here are precisely aligned to 1 minute, 12 seconds. When I play back the actual video, actually it's not quite correct, but too late, It gets exported to MP4 format, and I couldn't change it without re-exporting again. Now, that's why it's nicer if I could use a tool like Final Cut Pro that allows me to edit the videos without having to do this re-export. Yeah. But anyway, I'll experiment with that. Notice that we have one audio track here that's disabled. I actually tried to import the music into this sequence, and I tried to synchronize them. Yeah, but apparently that wasn't too successful. Right. Okay. Let me see first. The drop shadow. Remember I said earlier on that I drop shadow I had to compensate for the thickness. The normal thickness is 80%. Drop shadow. Yeah, there. Okay, for this particular clip, the drop shadow is 80 pixels high. For this clip, however, it's 51 pixels. Why is that? It's the zooming in problem we mentioned earlier on. The scale is 150%. Therefore, I had to take 80 pixels, subtract 58%, and that will give me 51. Yeah. So I had to compute this thing manually to get the right bar size, right? Yeah. Then we have to move the right position also. Normally the position is to occupy half the screen. The position is 0. The coordinate system is like this. Our full video is a 4K video, right? The whole vertical pixels is 43840. We had 3,840 pixels vertically. The position in the middle is at coordinate 0. Okay, or you think about it, this top position is 0, right? And halfway point is 1920. That's why you see that for most videos, okay, this should be 1920. But to put a video at the top, we need to put it at 0, right? Now this thing, but then, yeah, we had to shift this up a bit more because of the scaling. I was too lazy to compute this, so I had to manually inspect. So imagine me pointing a ruler at this point here and trying to align this clip with this clip to make sure that everything matches up. Yeah, kind of painful, but yeah. But anyway, I was being lazy. I could have used the math to compute the exact vertical position, but I just used a ruler, yeah, because it was quicker. Yeah, but for computing the height of the bar, I had to use math because I wanted to be very precise. Okay, and that was the brunch part of our video, and then we come to the outro, the conclusion of the video. Yeah, after so many dizzying edits, I thought of just showing a plain video of our folks enjoying brunch, and just panning through the eatery and showing all the tables, and there's one table over there, right? And yeah, and also to capture people that we might miss. So, for example, in this frame here, I just realized that well, we can see Eugene over here. I think we might miss that on some of the videos. So at least we have a chance now to show all the other folks, right? Yeah, and overall, it's a pretty good video. We featured Sento a lot, so he seems to be having a lot of fun, which is good. And this will be his final video with us. This is his final run with the Singapore Frontrunners. We're going to miss him, but we wish him all the best in Barcelona. Yeah, and this set for the video for the Sunset Way run by the Singapore Frontrunners. It's now Wednesday today. In a few days' time on Saturday, we'll be having our next run at the Sungai Bedok. I'm going to have a busy week this weekend and next week. I'm thinking that I might start working on the video earlier. Yes, I don't have the video on until Saturday morning, which is the Sungai Bedok run, but I can start doing the music. Remember that the Sentosa video, we featured 4 songs by Kylie Minogue, pretty old songs. Then for this Sunset Way run, we featured 2 songs featuring Blackpink. Well, Rosé from Blackpink was in the Apatu music. We had we had Kylie Minogue, we had Blackpink. Now for the next video for Sungai Bedok, we will feature Britney Spears. I've selected the two music and I will start editing soon, and I will explain more in the next video. Yep, see you in the next live stream. If you're looking for the link to the next live stream, check the video description below. Thank you, bye.